Val Neekman is an independent voice in our community, committed to serving Waterloo as an MP with complete transparency, integrity, and dedication. The following is his breakdown of cost reduction in the Canadian government through the use of technology and effective management. This information aims to ensure voters can make an informed decision when choosing their next representative on April 28, 2025.
This video has been prepared by Val Neekman, a member of the tech community in Waterloo. Val knows how to leverage technology to solve pressing issues. With extensive experience in the field, Val understands that realizing Canada's full potential requires a track record of success. In this video, Val provides an analysis of the federal government's bloated size since around 2015, discusses the financial issues due to excessive outsourcing, and recommends effective cost-cutting measures. Prior to 2008, Ottawa had two major employers, the federal government in the public sector and Nortel Networks in the private sector. The federal government offered stable jobs with great benefits and generous pensions at slightly lower than market-based pay, while Nortel Networks offered higher base pay at market value, adequate benefits, and flexible pensions. This balance was beneficial for Ottawa, with the federal government providing stability and Nortel Networks driving innovation. However, in 2008, Nortel Networks, a proud Canadian company, failed to service its loans and entered Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. A company once valued at $300 billion went bankrupt over a mere $100 million, and we, as Canadians, stood by and let that happen. Ultimately, most of Nortel's assets, patents, and innovations were auctioned off and bought at pennies on the dollar by American companies. About half of Nortel Networks' employees were let go, losing their retirements altogether or receiving only 60 cents on the dollar. The other half were transferred to new Canadian branches of American companies such as Sienna Corp and Ericsson. By 2015, when the new Liberal government took office and announced the beginning of their sunny ways era, the government opened its doors unconditionally, absorbing many ex-Nortel employees. These employees, now disillusioned, opted for low-key 9-to-5 jobs, losing their ambitions. With thousands of new employees lacking drive, the federal government had no choice but to turn to consulting and service providers for innovative and time-sensitive tasks. By 2023, the cost of outsourcing ballooned to $21.5 billion, while full-time staff enjoyed job security without much effort. The federal government needs an overhaul of its tech needs and how they are met. Each technical undertaking requires stages of research, proof of concept, development, deployment, and maintenance. Research stage is done about 30% in-house and 70% through outsourcing. Proof of concept is done about 20% in-house and 80% through outsourcing. Development stage is done about 20% in-house and 80% through outsourcing. Deployment or maintenance are done about 80% in-house and 20% through outsourcing. Outsourcing processes. The main outsourcing processes are request for information, RFI, request for proposal, RFP, and evaluation. The detailed version includes 11 steps, from RFI to contract payment and closeout. Government contracts are often mismanaged, especially during contract execution, and suffer from corruption, particularly in the RFI, RFP, and negotiation stages. Introducing middlemen exacerbates outsourcing management issues. Instead of contracting directly with service providers, middlemen, often affiliated with government members, get the green light to write requirements for upcoming projects. These requirements are often tailored so that only their entity or close affiliates win the contract. This adds an extra communication channel, leading to lost requirements, less transparency, and lower quality staff, impacting cost, quality, and delivery. On average, the government pays $1,500 per day for each consultant working for the service providers. However, this amount is distributed in a way that significantly reduces the compensation for the individual consultant who performs the actual work. Out of the $1,500, $700 is retained by the middleman, who likely handles administrative and coordination tasks. Another $500 is kept by the service provider, which may cover overhead costs and profit margins. As a result, only $300 is paid to the individual consultant who is responsible for carrying out the task. This distribution highlights the disparity in earnings and raises questions about the efficiency and fairness of the payment structure. To simplify, let's depict an awarded project as a triangle with cost, schedule, and quality on each side. This triangle is an illusion, as no project can deliver all three together. At most, 2 can be guaranteed. If cost and schedule are guaranteed, quality suffers. If schedule and quality are promised, costs skyrocket. If cost and quality are promised, the schedule expands. This illusion is evident in loosely defined contracts, leading to subpar outcomes, as seen with the ArriveCAN app. Service providers often create a proof of concept, POC, to showcase the final result, and obtain approval for the full project. Since the middleman takes a significant portion of the daily cost per consultant, the service provider often assigns less experienced, lower-cost personnel to the POC. They then clean up and dress up the POC to get approval from the government. Once the green light is received, unfortunately, service providers often do not invest adequately in proper design and architecture. Instead, they use the POC as the foundation for the final application. However, because the POC was not designed based on sound principles, it tends to be unstable. As a result, the service provider has to assign more staff to stabilize every layer. Loosely prepared agreements and contracts often allow the service provider to increase both the staff and the cost. A properly designed app should be a right-side-up pyramid, with considerable time and experienced staff allocated to the design and architecture of the infrastructure layer. Once the infrastructure is stable, upper layers can be added, ensuring known and manageable costs, quality, and schedule. With this design, the cost of the infrastructure is a one-time cost, plus incremental maintenance costs. Now, each department can pay for the development of their own application layer. For example, the Canadian Border Security Agency will only pay for the development of the application layer of the ArriveCAN app. This approach reduces costs and schedules while increasing quality, as the app will be built on a solid infrastructure and foundation. Other departments can equally use this shared infrastructure to build their own applications. Departments such as finance, border security, environment, foreign affairs, health, national defense, transport, and many more can benefit. This will keep the majority of the costs constant, raise the overall quality of experience of applications and services provided by all departments, and reduce the cost to taxpayers. To address these issues, we need a new ministry, the Ministry of Technology, directly reporting to the PMO. This ministry would handle all tech infrastructure needs, RFI write-ups, RFP reviews, and outsourcing. It would operate like a startup with about 20 senior technical staff recruited from top-performing tech companies, offering market salaries, performance bonuses, and non-government pensions, ensuring top talent for top dollars. The infrastructure layer's responsibilities include, but are not limited to, toolkit, network security, secure emails, translations, geofencing and geolocation, user management, payment, layouts, artificial intelligence, and more. In the next video, I will discuss cost-cutting measures to reduce professional services expenses by billions of dollars. Canada, like any entity, needs a Chief Technology Officer, CTO, acting as the Minister of Technology. This individual would oversee mergers of big tech companies within Canada to ensure healthy competition and lower prices with higher quality. More competition is also crucial for national security. For example, if Rogers goes down for a day due to negligence or cyber-terrorism, our flights, border security, and ports could be severely impacted. Canada deserves better, especially in the AI era, to remain globally competitive and locally secure. A technically advanced country must have a technically aware and enabled federal government to provide guidance. Otherwise, we risk losing our competitive edge, security, accountability, and our future as a viable nation and a worthy member of the G7. To talk further, you can reach out to Val Neekman via email, phone, or a Zoom call. Val looks forward to further discussions on this matter with the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Cast your vote for Val Neekman, your local, experienced, and qualified candidate, in the federal election on April 28, 2025. He'll stand up for you, fight for Waterloo, and be your strong voice in Ottawa.
Hello, my name is Val Neekman. I approve this message and I appreciate your support. Thank you.